Welcome to the Fantasy Forecast with Grindberg and Bigz. He's Grindberg. I am Bigz. We're here with you to help make champions for your work league, your family league, any redraft that you're doing. ESPN.com, Yahoo.com, CBSSports.com, NFL.com, wherever you play redraft fantasy football. We're here to help. We got a great show, Bigz. I'm Bigz. We got a great show, Grindberg. What are we talking about?
What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about part 2 of our rookies running backs that we're going to be targeting in the earlier rounds of these rookie drafts. So let's... Yeah.
That's much more comfortable.
Yeah, you look more comfortable. I like the Raiders silver and the numbers. It looks sharp, my friend. Real sharp.
Do you like my Raiders Santa hat?
I do. Yeah.
All right. I don't like the Raiders. I just like being ironic. I'm really a Chiefs fan.
That's no, you're not.
That's
There's
not
no
true.
Way.
I'm not a part of Chiefs chiefdom. All right. Welcome, you guys. We are here to talk about rookie running backs again. If you recall, on the last episode, I brought you Braylon Allen, and he brought you Marshawn Lloyd. I'm going to talk today about Notre Dame running back Audric Estime. Now, Audric Estime brings a couple things to the table that I really like. And if you'll remember, all the way back in that Braylon Allen episode, I told you age was a huge factor. And Audric Estime is just slightly older. He's only 5 months older than Braylon Allen. So Audric Estime coming out as a junior and being only 20 years old, he's going to hit the 21-year mark in the football season in September 6th, which is my half birthday. Is that even a thing? He's also over 220 pounds, so he's right on the cusp at 5'11", 220. 225 is like the line of demarcation that we look for weight to project as a top 12 fantasy finisher. And the best thing about Audric Estime, besides his college production, is the fact that he ran a garbage 40 time at the combine. It was like 4.65 or 4.7 or something like that. And his draft stock went boo in rookie drafts. And that's good news for you, because that means that people are going to be out on Audric Estime and you're going to be in on Audric Estime. So you're going to take him in your fantasy drafts, and then he's going to be a quality running back for you. So look for Audric Estime. Grab him in the late teens. It's going to be important where he lands, but if he goes to a place with a running back who may be prone to injury, if he goes to a situation like Washington, or if he goes somewhere as a fourth or fifth rounder, third or fourth, fifth rounder, and has the ability to kind of take over a backfield after an injury or something, he's definitely going to be somebody that you want to grab at the back end of your drafts. And that's Audric Estime.
Yeah, I mean, so let's kind of break this down a little bit here, because
sure,
we've got a group of guys and we have, 3 kind of types of running backs. We got our bruising backs, we got our like all utility backs, guys that can do both, and then you got, kind of like your complementary kind of guys, which Audric Estime kind of falls into that bruising back kind of situation. And there's a lot of teams looking for that type of running back specifically, similar to like your Braylon Allens, right? We're looking at the landscape of the NFL and the running back position evolving. We're seeing so many more running back by committees, so many of the, thunder and lightning combinations. And Audric Estime fits that bill great as a guy that can come in and be a huge bruiser. He's young, which is huge in the running back landscape. He's going to have a little bit more longevity than some of these other guys. He's big, right? What are his hands like, Biggs? Do they know can he be a threat in the passing game?
He can be. He wasn't, and that's kind of a knock against some of these guys that we were talking about, especially in the last episode. Zamir White of the Raiders, Braylon Allen, Josh Jacobs when he was coming out of Alabama. These guys, they weren't pressed into a lot of receiving action at the college level, but that doesn't mean that they're not capable of doing it. Kenneth Walker III is another one. The thing about Estime is that he's extremely patient at allowing holes in front of him to develop. So in a zone scheme, he's going to be able to dead leg and get and blast through holes. One of the things about his 40 time, and granted, it wasn't great.
He didn't have a great 40 time at the combine, but if you don't get me wrong, on his pro day, he posted a pretty respectable 40 time. I think it was a 4.55, and a guy of his size, that is not too bad if you ask me.
It improved a little bit. I thought it was like a 4.56, which is just like a hair outside of kind of so 40 time does not correlate to fantasy football success for running backs. Let's just put that out there. But you do want a guy who can run, and yes, he didn't test with a great 40 time. However, he has been clocked due to according to next gen stats in the 20 to 21 mile an hour range, which that's elite speed, and that's in the open field, in pads, in a game. GPS tracking has had him among the best. So put the ball in his hands and get him in pads, and he's fine. Put him in his underwear at the combine, and suddenly that takes something away from him. Pro day, it's hand time, so there's a little bit of question how accurate it is, but GPS stats are not inaccurate. He ran that fast, and he can. So I'm not worried about the 40 time whatsoever.
Yeah, me neither. And I think he's profiling as a guy that's going to come in, and he's going to be a later round guy that you're going to get at a good price. So I do like that call there on Audric Estime there, Biggs. So I was too late to pull your video in there because you're quick on the draw, but I had these videos set up, and I'm gonna interlude my guy here, and that's
oh wait, producer, run that Audric Estime video. That was Jonathan Brooks.
That was Jonathan Brooks, and that's a little bit of unveiling, if you will, of a guy that I kind of got my eye on here.
Follow me at theundroppables.com. I Debbie call him the Unveiled.
Do it up, because Biggs has got some great Debbie content there, and he's bringing
good.
it.
I wouldn't say great.
I think it's great. I think it's really good.
We agree.
All right, so fair enough. Jonathan Brooks started 2023 on a complete tear. Literally, he tore his ACL. But he was looking like a lock to be, at least in the conversation, to be the consensus number one overall pick. If Travian Henderson hadn't stayed back and declared like they'd be neck and neck if that injury didn't happen. This injury meant that he didn't get to test at the combine. He didn't get to have any sort of metrics at his pro day. So for a smaller back, he could have probably used that to show off his elite contact balance, his patience as a runner, and also showcase his talents as a receiver. Brooks has light, fast feet, excellent stop and start ability, enabling him to, manipulate any sort of oncoming tackler. As a receiver, he shows clean hands, an impressive catch radius, capable of making those off-target receptions. Brooks was having himself a fantastic 2023 season prior to his injury. In only 11 games, he had 1,139 yards, 286 receiving yards, and 11 total touchdowns. A beast in the making. He was only one of two running backs in this class to post 200-plus rushing yards per game in his senior year. Who do you think the other one was, Biggs?
Braylon Allen.
Audric Estime. interestingly enough, that we got them both showcased in this one. So I think draft capital and landing spot will be very telling. The injury could sideline him for a good chunk of the 2024 season. But if Brooks goes to a team that is in need of a running back right away, he has the tools to be a true workhorse. And he is my RB2 in this class right now in a dynasty mindset. But in a redraft mindset, we got to be thinking of down the stretch. And Jonathan Brooks has got the talent. And depending on where he goes, he's had a couple of pretty interesting visits this week. One being the Texans, and I love that move. They got Joe Mixon there. He could percolate in that offense and get, some steam and get some momentum down the stretch. The Dallas Cowboys have been rumored to be in on Brooks as well, which is another interesting landing spot. The Carolina Panthers also hosted him for a day. So all these situations are very intriguing to me. And Jonathan Brooks has got the talent. He showed out in his college last year before his ACL injury. So he is one guy that I think, even if it doesn't happen next year, he should be a guy you should have your eye on in years to come, especially down the stretch here when teams are going to be looking to replace some injured running backs. That position is so up in the air when it comes to injuries and stuff. So when, an injury happens and Jonathan Brooks can jump in, he can be a guy that can really lead your team to a fantasy football championship. So even if you get him in a late round, have him on your bench for half the year. The talent is there, and if he can get the opportunity, the sky's the limit for Jonathan Brooks, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you bring up an interesting situation in Dallas. And the kind of the way that I'm looking at it is that Dallas is going to be drafting their starting running back out of this draft. Whether that's in the second round or the first round, however they choose to play it, I think whoever it is, if it's Braylon Allen, Audric Estime, Blake Corum, Jonathan Brooks, Marshawn Lloyd, I think those are basically the top 5 candidates at this point. Whoever it is that goes to Dallas, I would be very, very comfortable in saying I will draft as my third running back. Jonathan Brooks, I really like. Now, there's a handful of guys from the 2023, 2024 rookie class that you can kind of like push together. Roschon Johnson and Bijan Robinson. Jonathan Brooks was behind them at Texas. Jonathan Brooks might have had an early breakout had it not been for the fact that those two NFL running backs who came out of the same class were ahead of him. You have Travion Henderson, who went back to Ohio State this year, that could have been the RB1 out of this draft class if he had stayed. I think those 5 guys, Johnson, Bijan, Jonathan Brooks, and Travion Henderson, I can safely say that those are probably 5 of the best workhorse running backs of the 23 and 24 classes, which means that Jonathan Brooks is definitely an RB1. It's just that he's coming off that injury. That's the only thing that's holding him back. If he hadn't had the injury at all, with the fact that Travion Henderson went back to Ohio State, Jonathan Brooks is far and away the RB1 in this class, even over Braylon Allen.
And it's just a matter of the injury, the bounce back. We know these injuries typically take a long time to recover from. They're talking about him at 10 months coming back to start the year, and I just don't think that's going to happen. That is wishful thinking. Yes, there's been anomalies, like we'd mentioned in our best ball podcast earlier today, that Breece Hall came back and did well and dominated in his first year back from an injury similar to that. But it's not always happening, and we can't expect that from Jonathan Brooks. We can maybe be hopeful. Mm-hmm. But to expect it is just not something that you want to put too much investment into. So as a later round guy, someone that you can snag up that could maybe fill in, he could be a league winner in the stretch next year when push comes to shove, if he has the right opportunity. So keep your eye, folks, on Jonathan Brooks, because I really think that he is a spotlight waiting to happen.
Yep, absolutely. I like Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah. Cool, Biggs. Well,
Yeah.
that's our two, we've each given two really important names in this running back landscape. And then I think the most important episode is going to be next when we go over two fades, people that you don't want to draft because, when those guys are on your team, they could be very, very detrimental to the success of your fantasy roster. So we're going to deep dive into two guys that have gotten some steam in this draft, quite a bit of steam, and we're gonna break them down and why you shouldn't be drafting these guys at their prices. So,
Roster
Biggs, you want to?
holes.
Yeah, let's wrap this up, Biggs. You wanna send us out?
Bye. I hope you win. Go find me on Twitter at BigBonedFFB and him at FFCanuck99. And go find all our stuff.
Yeah, we're always here, and we're gonna be rocking at the FF Advice Network.
I'm here a lot.
We are here a lot, yeah. And you're going to see us here a lot. And you're going to see us at the booth at the Fantasy Football Expo, so that's going to be a great time for us too.
Like, subscribe, share, comment, and hit the bell.
And we hope you win. Peace out, everybody. Have a great day.